Hey guys, today is the day. We are going to create our character from scratch. This is for those who have never created a character in Second Life and are considering it. We're going to go through the whole process from creating the account, showing you where you can download the viewer at. We're going to show the system requirements and take the system requirements with a grain of salt because it's not entirely accurate. Um, but we're going to go through the whole process. We're going to create the character, make him look decent, and everything without spending a dime. I had mentioned this in my two previous videos that we were going to do this, and so this is what we're going to do. It just took me a minute to get everything all prepared. All the different tabs that you see up on the screen, they're all specific for this particular thing. Right now I'm using Microsoft Edge because my main character spir that I've been using the videos on is going through a different browser, so that way we can log into the marketplace and all that without having to log me out on another browser. So anyway, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to secondlife.com, and it's going to bring you up to a page that looks like this. Now, depending on when you come to this page, the information here might be slightly different, but this is what it is today, January 14th of 2026. So you're getting this in real time. So the first thing that you're going to do is going to go to download over here, which is going to take you to this page here. Now, you can choose to use the Second Life viewer, and you can click between, if you're on Mac or Windows, you just click one of these two and then download it accordingly. Or if you want to use Firestorm, which is what we'll be using in this video, it's what I tend to use. If you're on Mac, Windows, or even Linux, just make sure you click the right one and then click here to download. To look at the system requirements, it says it needs an internet connection and your operating system. So, but you can click for a full system requirement, which is what I have this tab open for. And it tells you that you need a cable or DSL for minimum. You need Windows 10. You need a CPU with SSE2 support and 2 core, 8 gig of computer memory, 4 gig of GPU RAM, a screen resolution of 1024 by 768 with OpenGL 3.2 on the minimum for Windows. The recommended, however, you need a broadband internet connection, Windows 11 64, CPU with SSE2 support and 8 core, 16 gig or more of computer RAM, and 8 gig or more with GPU. And you need the 1920 by 1080p with OpenGL 4.6. This is what they recommend for Windows, and of course Mac is down here and Linux is down here. My system here is kind of somewhere in between minimum and recommended. I'm running an AMD with integrated graphics, but it can pull from the system computer RAM, so I'm meeting this. I'm not meeting the recommended RAM, but I'm definitely meeting the minimum. So gonna kind of run both. You probably need a heck of a lot more when it comes to GPU and computer RAM and a better processor if you want to run everything on Ultra. This is probably somewhere in the mid-range for SL. So we're going to close this tab out, and I've already downloaded it, so I'm going to close this tab out. Alternatively, if you want to use Firestorm, you can go to firestormviewer.org and then go to downloads and then find here. There are two different versions. There's one that's strictly for Second Life, and then if you want to go to OpenSim, it's similar to Second Life. The Second Life went open source, and OpenSim was created sometime around 2010. So if you want to view that one with the Firestorm viewer, you want to grab this one. The OpenSim has different things than Second Life does, and vice versa. So you could still log into Second Life using the OpenSim one, but you're not going to see a lot of the stuff that's in SL and vice versa. That's how that works. So you can go there too. And I'll have a link for this in the description for getting Firestorm. And I'll have a link for the same in directly off of Second Life itself which is right here. I also have tabs open for the marketplace. We're going to get the Eon style here. This is the one that we're going to work with. Then we're going to, but you can choose Isaac or Koa. It's whichever one you prefer, but we're going to go with Eon. We're also going to get this free AO. Doesn't have a whole lot, but again, it's just to get you started without spending anything. We've got 2 stands, 2 walks, a sit on the ground, 1 sit on a chair, a run, a crouch, a tight motion, and a single dance. So I've never used this, so we're just kind of roll with it and see what happens. And then we're going to get this free hair here, so we can kind of look a little bit better. Because when you see this one here, it looks like it's just maybe a hair base. I'm not entirely sure, but we're going to, at least look at it. So let's get started. First thing you're going to do is go to sign up after you've downloaded everything. And you're going to be presented with this screen. And then you're going to want to do your username. Back when I first started, this is all new to me. We had to choose our first name and then a last name in the drop down. Apparently, if you want a last name, you have to pay for it. Right now, it's whenever you put a username in, it defaults to your username.resident as your last name, where mine is spirit.web on my main one that I've been running for almost 20 years now. That's not a thing anymore unless you pay for it. So we're going to use Spirit Nupley is my username. It's also my channel name. And then we're going to put in our password. I don't want to receive news and special offers, but I do consent to the terms. And then I'm not a robot. So just make sure that you fill all this out accordingly, and then we're going to create an account. Well, we've already downloaded this viewer. I'm seeing this for the very first time, so I'm going to probably stumble right along with you. I don't need to save this. Let's go over to Firestorm. And let's come to Firestorm and let's go ahead and log in. And let's see what happens. Okay. Here, let's kind of get out the way here. Did I just come in as a woman? Well, that's really weird. We came in as a woman. Okay. Well, that's new. So we are at the new Welcome Center for learning how to control. You can literally follow through these signs, but a quick movement, WASD, W is forward, S is back, D and A rotate. You can also come down to, which I don't use it at all. Not this, like the over here, where you can use the controls here to walk. But let's look at our inventory really quick and see if there's anything. Yep, there's our avatar. Welcome back. And we're just going to right click and replace the current outfit. Maybe not A. Let's do B. C. All right, we're going to use C. And I do see the mesh body now. So there's the mesh body legacy that I had mentioned. We're using the Eon Leluca head. This is really cool. So this is all new to me. We never had any of this. And then let's look at casual. And then we're just going to add to current outfit. That way it puts everything on. Yep, that works. Now that we have that, it looks like there's a simple AO too. That's interesting, but we're not going to do that. We are actually going to come back over here, and we're going to, we're just going to open up a new link. We're going to sign in here. And we're going to add this to the cart. We're going to add this to the cart. And we're going to add this to the cart. We're going to come up here to the cart. And we're just going to check out. Because it's free items, they're going to try to entice you with something that's not free, but we're just going to come down to the bottom and click place your order. And since it's not costing anything, here's our invoice of everything that we're getting. And because it's not costing anything, it's 0. We're just going to click buy now. And then we're going to come back over here. And you're going to see our stuff starting to come in. And they're going to show up in this received item folder. So I'm just going to, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put everything into the avatar welcome pack. You can set your inventory. Oh, I guess I can't. All right, well, let's just put in a new folder then. We'll create a new folder and we'll just call this spir. And we're going to take everything because that's our character name. And let me say that when you first join and you're in world, I would highly recommend with inventory management, making sure everything is properly organized, because things can get out of hand really quick. If you get a demo and it works, you buy the real thing, delete the demo. If you buy clothes or shoes, whatever it may be, and there's different bodies in there, so like let's say you went with Legacy, for example, but there's also one for Gianni, there's also one for Jake, and so on, etc. Delete those, because it starts to add up, and the more stuff you have in your inventory, the longer it can take for Second Life to load when you log in again. So just keep that in mind. But we're going to move all this over to the spir folder. Why didn't it move? There we go. And we're going to collapse this, and we're going to open up the spir folder. And so in the Eon style, it's going to have this basic note card on how to set up your appearance and everything else. So this says to open appearance, save your current at the bottom. So that's actually going to be this here. So in your outfits here, this is that. So we're gonna just create a new outfit here, and I'm just gonna call this spir. So everything that you are currently wearing right now will be attached to this. So anytime you create a new outfit like this, if let's say you want to look that on a women and guys are a little bit different on this. I've learned that some women like to kind of manually go through and add things because like different shoes to different outfits, and the outfits start to get a little. Now, what I do is I find a particular outfit that I want to wear, and then I'll create one like that might have certain attachments on it that another one doesn't, and then I'll adjust my look if I want to. So like I've got one for going to the beach. I've got one for going to bed, so my sleepwear. I've got one for casual, so on and so forth. But if I want to adjust certain things later, I can. So we've done that. Yeah, we've done this. Yeah, we've done this. And what's the visual help look like? Oh, that's not really visual help. That's okay. So I guess it's yeah, we've already done all of this. So we can close that out. This looks like search for what you'd like. In this case, it'd be Legacy Athletic, not Demo. Then scroll to the bottom where you find the search. Do not show demo items. Yeah, walking through on how to work through the marketplace. We'll do all of that ourselves in this video. But you can literally walk through all of this. It'll help you. So we've done all of this. And now we're going to add in we're going to right click and choose add. I'm not sure what priority 3 and priority 4 mean. So my particular AO that I use comes from Vista. It's pre-packed with a bunch of animations, and it comes in at about 2500 linden. So I'm not sure what's what in this one. Did it not add? Or am I getting ready to crash? Yeah, because I don't have sounds. I mean, I got sounds, but I don't have key sounds. Well, we'll keep going, right? So here's our movement. And of course, follow the path so you can learn how to do things. So we're just going to walk along. Over here, if you want to jump, we just walk over it. Jump is actually page up. It's not the up arrow. It might be the up arrow in the Second Life viewer. And flying is actually the same thing. It's just so for jumping, you just tap the page up. To fly, hold the page up button. And then land, hold the page down button. Okay. Then we walk around this way. So if there's a sit option, right, you can right click and choose sit here, or if it's got a piece that shows up with a chair like it is right there, you can click on it. And that's really weird. So we're going to stand off and get off of it. That's how sitting works. Just you can right click and choose sit here. And holding Control Alt will rotate the camera. Holding Shift Control Alt will drag the camera around. And holding just Alt will zoom in and out. Holding Control does nothing. So you can see the sit. That was right click, sit. Or again, if it's got the little seat like this, then we can choose to sit. Alright, so that covered that. Pose balls are an old thing. And like most of it now is what's called Av Sitter. There's no pose balls. It's menu driven. So a little menu drops down on the top right, and then you can click the pose that you want to use. Pose balls are old. And there's the camera that literally just said, oh, and mouse scroll wheel zooms in and out. There's the camera that we went through already. Now the communication, fun stuff. So down here, we click the conversations. I tend to hold it about down in here. And down here, right down in this little corner, you can drag it out, make it bigger or smaller on any corner. I tend to have it about right there and hover it about here. So everything that's going on in your local, your nearby chat, also called local chat, or in just local, that's this here, and any private messages or DMs will show up here like this here. I have no interest in this, so we're just going to close it out. But if you do want to visit someone's profile, you can right click them and look at their profile. Or you can, if it's somebody that sent a DM, you can click right up here and it opens their profile. You can read, if they put anything in here, you can read it. If they put anything in there about them, and for First Life, they put that here. Any favorite places that they visit or frequent or like or whatever might be here. The Notes tab, if you meet someone and you want to just remember kind of stuff about them and who they are, I would highly recommend putting it in the Notes tab. That's my wife and I in SL have done that, where we've taken notes about each other. So when we first met, and we can always reference it back here if need be. And then of course, this is kind of like a Facebook thing, I guess. You can post a feed and other people can see, comment on it, and so forth and so on. You can also choose to offer teleport to someone, so you can bring them to you. If you want to add them as a friend, that's right here. If you want to send them Linden, that's right here. If you've just viewing them, right, you haven't opened, like you can choose to instant message. So like if you decided to go this route and view their profile versus the instant message, you can click that. So for example, you're looking at their profile and you're like, hey, I want to send them a DM, right? You can just open that. That opens this up. Or you can block them from here, and then there's other options right here. But we don't need to see that. Whoops. Make sure that... there we go. All right. I'm going to also do some checks up here in the preferences. So we're going to take the typing. Okay, and well, this is actually set to my current settings. The play typing animation with chatting, if you don't want that, so whenever you start chatting here in local, your character will come up and start looking like they're typing. If you don't want to see that, you can uncheck that here. Then in keyword alerts right here, so I have this for enabled on mine. And then I also have it set down here. So for this case, I would put spir and nubs, because that's what I go by. And you separate them by a comma. So anytime someone in local, like I just wanted to look for keywords in nearby chat, I don't care about IMs or anything. You can choose a color, and my favorite color, we'll put it about right there. So now anytime they say spir or nubs, and let's use nubbly on the last name, or this right here, it will highlight in local chat with this color. So now you can, if someone says your name, it'll stand out, and it's a better chance of not missing it. Allow arrow keys right here on movement under move and view. Arrow keys always move, and then pressing letter keys affects movement. This is off by default, and if you try to start typing it, or use W, it'll start typing in local, and you don't want that to happen. So just make sure that pressing letter keys affects movement, WASD, instead of starting nearby chat. I also want to mention there is controller support, but I don't have any freaking clue on how to set that up. I have tried, and I can't get it to work. Oh, there's our HUD. It's finally on now. And then, of course, if there's all kinds of other things in here. You can skin it to look different. You can do your graphics adjusting. I have it set on full low, again, just because of my system, to keep the frames a little higher. But you can adjust all this. But what I do have the maximum complexity, so you can see everyone no matter what, is up to no limit. And the number of imposter avatars is set to 20. So what that means is if the further away they are, they're not going to move. And if you have it set to only, say, 3, then only 3 people around you will move. Everyone else will be kind of frozen unless you zoom in on them. So if you want them to all to move, so it works really good, like when you're in a club, for example, and you want to see everyone dancing and not just a couple of them around you, change the number of imposter avatars up. So I've got mine set to 20. So now we're going to keep moving. And we've covered communication. And we're going to keep going. Also, if you want to use voice chat, it's right here. We're not going to use it for this instance, but you can see this icon that's right here, which will come across. I thought there was actually people talking. So whenever you see this little icon above the head, they're voice chatting. That's what this little dot is above the head. If you don't see it, then there's something on your end that you need to fix, or you have it turned off. Sometimes a quick restart or checking over here in your preferences, and then coming down to your sound and media and checking voice, making sure that things are set the way they need to be. And same with here. You can also set to make sure, like, there's a timeout away from with Firestorm. If you're not active for X amount of time, then it'll log you out. It'll time you out. I have mine set to number because sometimes I leave myself logged in overnight in bed sleeping, so I don't want to be logged out or set to away. I do that on my own. All right, so now we're going to keep going. So friends, we already covered by right-clicking Add Friend. Also, please, for the love of God, like I said in my last video, when adding a friend, don't just randomly send out friend requests to people. That's frowned upon. Get to know them first, talk to them, and then ask them if it's okay to add them. Make sure that you do that. It's just some proper etiquette. Usually adding someone without asking will get you blocked. So just keep that in mind. Speaking of, there it is, the etiquette, which we just went through. And pardon the stutter there. It's, again, Second Life is... Yep, yeah, there it is. Don't request friendship from someone you haven't spoken to. So on and so forth. We just covered that. Yeah, and then sometimes it can take a short while. We went through this in the last video where SL will definitely test your patience. Sometimes you'll res in naked and it just takes a minute. Sometimes it's weird, like you go in somewhere and you're resin in and things are still trying to load up and you'll see body parts flying around in circles. It's hilarious. So just keep that in mind. Um, yeah, like also just stand still when you're loading in just to make sure everything is good. And we went through in the last video the classification of what general, moderate, and adult means. So, like they have here, general is no extreme violence or nudity. Moderate, there's some violence, swearing, adult situations, some nudity. And adult is, well, everything. And also keep in mind, if you're under the ages 18, 16, and 17-year-old, general is the only place you can go until you turn 18. And so they're talking about where that's at. So if you look up here where it says in this bar up here, it says general, there's a G. This lets you know that this is a general region. All right, and we went through the inventory a little bit. Inventory is this little icon down here. And you can't put anything down here in the library. I learned that just a second ago because, again, I don't ever put anything in the library, so I didn't realize that. I have folders upon folders. I have hundreds of folders. So just you want to create a new folder, go up here to like inventory, right click, do new folder. It puts it in the home inventory folder like I did with Spir. If you want a folder specifically in landmarks, right click, do new folder. It'll drop a new folder in the landmarks. Anytime you create a landmark, it'll automatically go here into the landmarks folder. If you want it to sit up here right below where the home button is, land, all this, then you can drag it into favorites. It'll create a copy and it'll put it in your favorites so you can easily access it up here at the top. Anytime you take a photo using the camera, it'll go in here. If someone sends you a photo, for some reason, it sends it as a texture, so it goes down in here. So just keep in mind if someone sent you something and you're like, well, that was a photo, logic dictates it should go to photo, but it doesn't. It goes to texture. Any note cards, like what we saw down here in the Eon style, this right here is a note card. You can think of it like a text document on your computer, a TXT file, and inside will have links and images and stuff like that, or could. They tend to go here. If you're clicking something and it says read and save or whatever, it'll go right here. Anytime you buy something, if it needs unpacking or whatever, it'll go into objects. So you know where that's at. Sounds go in sounds, scripts go in scripts, etc. So on and so forth. Calling cards are your friends and stuff. They go here. So it's the calling card is literally just the profile. Animations, fallen animations. But we can go through this a little bit more on my other account, on the main account, so you can see more of that if you want. So we went through inventory, we went through organization to make things better to find. The library contains everything that Linden offers right out the gate. We saw that when we swapped over to this character. Appearance is simply right click and then choose appearance. And then you can edit your outfit. You can edit shapes. So like if you wanted to edit the shape, if you don't like how this one is and you just want to do it on your own, to make one for yourself rather than buy one, this is where you would do it at. Change your height, thickness, how much body fat you want. Like for instance, you can look like this, or you can do this. Honestly, I think somewhere about like right in here. I'm not going to do anything, but you can adjust your head here. You can adjust eyes size and all that. You can do all that. And that's what we just did, was edit the shape. You can edit the outfit by doing the same thing. So let's do this and then do edit outfit. So that's just literally here. like, you don't have to do it this way. Let's just take this off. And you come down to your t-shirt here. I'm going to have to organize this screen. I can't find anything. Everything that you're currently wearing is here. If you want to take it off, like, let's say, let's take off this right here. You can literally just do that. And now it's going to take it off. So you can do it this way. If you find it, if it's in the inventory, you can just right click and detach. You can like detach from here. You can go into your inventory. That's the world map. We'll get to that in a second. You can come down to, because this is what we're using right now. You can easily just like right click, and it says we're not, like, I don't understand why we're not wearing it. Like, whoops, we screwed up. We screwed up bad. Here, let's replace current outfit. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. Taking a second. So we can add the hair base. There we go. And let's do, so this just has jeans. Is this the, what is this? Is this a, oh, that is the shirt. Okay. Alright, well, the alpha got all weird. Here, let's just add to the current outfit. So the bomb alpha here, this is hides the, so like our body isn't showing through the shirt anymore, so it just hides it. So this particular legacy body doesn't have a HUD control to it. It's just something simple. To the actual legacy HUD, I can show you in another video. We can go through that if you want, and then I can link these two videos together. But there'll be a HUD to where you can turn things off and on to make them alpha. So literally that just turns pieces of your body invisible. So that way stuff like that shoulder wasn't showing through your clothes. Alright, so that's all editing outfit. Frame rate here is horrible. So buying an item. If you're wanting to buy an item, you can right click, and then there's an option over here that'll say like buy or whatever, pay. So they're talking about freebies over here. So let's take a look. I mean, that looks kind of neat. We'll take that. So I just clicked it and we'll get this gift here. I don't think I like that. Mesh eyes with 4 white levels. So you notice that on this one there was a money symbol that hovered over this, but because it's free, we just, it's buy for 0, and you just click the buy button. Oh, there's the mail animation overrider. That's cool. We got our own though, but you know what? Let's grab this one too because we're doing everything free. We're gonna zoom in down here and see. That looks horrible. No, don't want that. And that's women stuff. Women have more things to choose from than the guys do. And I'm good. That's horrible. So there's more stuff in here. Obviously. Take your time, take a look, or you can come out. If you want to take that there, anything along these lines, if there's something in here that catches your fancy. Nothing in here really, honestly, captures my attention, to be completely honest. So we did grab that, so we're going to look over here. So when you get something new and you're not sure where it went, well, one, it actually went right in here into, oh, that's the library, wrong folder. So you notice there's an arrow here in our objects now. So this was the male AO. And notice that there's a box here now. We can't, so we're going to right click and edit it. And come over here to the content. And then we're just going to drag it out. Not everything allows that, but we can't drop. Oh, we can drop stuff here. Okay. So how you would do that is just literally take, since you can, if there's normally there's a box up here that says no. So you would just take this, drag this out to the ground, open it up like this, open, and then it would copy this over to where it says copied inventory. But we've already done that. So we're just going to right click, choose more, and choose delete. Now that we have it here, I'm going to right click and cut it. And I'm going to put this into the spir folder and paste. You can't do that if you're wearing the item. So keep that in mind. And we're just going to right click and choose add. Add is very important. If you choose wear, whatever is attached to that specific, wherever this is going to attach, if you choose wear, it'll remove everything that's there. So choosing to add, we'll add it to, this is supposed to be, what the heck just what? This HUD is horrible. So it's a box within a box. That's weird. So we're just going to drag this over here. Why would you put it in a box within a box? That is so weird. We're just going to delete that. So right click and choose delete. That's going to go in the trash now. And then we're going to right click this one and add. There we go. Now it's showing up. Shows the AO is on. There's stand, sit here. You can choose to turn. Yeah, looks like that's on, that's off, I guess. That's really weird. Alright. Yep, now it's working. We went through opening the box just a second ago. So if you want to build using primitives, you right click and choose create, and then you can choose to create with these items. So like if you want a cube, and now holding control does a rotate, holding control alt, and holding control shift, sorry, allows you to make it bigger. Control alt allows you to still rotate the camera. Control alt shift still allows you to adjust. That's how you do that. And then if you want to get rid of it, just hit the delete key on your keyboard. You can come back up here to this button here and create another one if you want to. Here's your move tool if you want to use it that way. But when you create an item, it automatically has the move tool. And you can move it here. Also, sometimes these arrows could be weird. You could come up here to world and choose local, and it will adjust these arrows differently. So if you're having a hard time trying to line something up because it's at an angle, try switching this to local, and maybe those arrows will line up the proper way, just to save you a bit of a headache. Okay, so we've done all of that. going to go through this whole thing as if we're a new player. I'm just going to explain it without actually reading it. So that's why we're still going through this. I could have instantly left and we could have went somewhere else and I could have walked through everything, but we're going to do this as if we're brand new. So media is handled up here. So at the very top, there's music, and then there is here. So if you're listening to music like at a DJ, like at a club or whatever, you can turn this off. That's what this is here. It's the parcel audio, it's the music. And then over here, the pause, we can turn that off and notice it's a movie camera. So like there are TVs in Second Life where you can watch movies and so on and so forth. It's using the media on a prim. This right here, if it's this way, it'll auto play. If it's this way, you have to click it to play. Yep, we went through all that. And then there is volume. If you hover over this right here, there's master, so this controls all the audio in your in world for you, for button sounds, ambient sounds, regular sounds. Sometimes you'll literally want to make sure, like this is why my sound levels are low, because people love gesture sounds and some of them can get really annoying. Your music level volume, like if you're at a club, you can adjust this slider to make it louder or quieter. Media is your TV audio, and of course you can adjust the voice volume. So like here's an idea. So like because we don't have this playing, it's not showing here. So if we turn on media, now notice there's something is showing. So we're going to turn that off. I have mine on default because I have a TV in the house. In fact, my wife and I have, I think, a TV at every one of our houses. So we both have a Linden home. We're both Premium Plus users, mainly just for the free uploads. Because if you're taking a photo, it costs money. It's like 10 Linden for a photo. If you choose to do a 2048 by 2048 photo, it's 40. If you want to upload your own texture, it's going to cost money. If you want to upload anything, it's going to cost. And then if you're uploading a model, like a mesh model, like I'm working on furniture and houses and stuff like that, that's what I've started to work on. I've done bits and pieces of a lot of different things, and it starts to add up really quickly. Premium Plus gets rid of the cost. So, and it's really not that expensive either. It's like 17 something a month, I think, but you can pay more if you want a stipend, but if you choose not to do the stipend, then it's like 17 or something like that a month. So I was on Premium, not the Premium Plus, and I was paying 15 a month, and I was getting the stipend, so like I was getting like 300-400 Linden a week, but I moved over spending $2 extra just for the free uploads. Teleporters. So you can choose, so there's these where they teleport you. You can also teleport somewhere. So like if we look at the world map, right here, where are we anyway? Firestorm? Social Island? Where are we? We're going to just zoom out and see where we are. So this big, huge thing over here, this is mainland. This big, huge connected. All these sims are interconnected. The little dot represented by the person, that's us. So we could zoom in down here and see everything. So like all of this down here are all Linden homes. All this is. That's Belissaria is all this. My Linden home is down here. I think my wife's Linden home is somewhere in that vicinity too. Yeah, I don't even know. No, I haven't. I don't think I've even been to her Linden home, but she never goes to it. Um, and then the famous Blake Sea is all right in here. Um, I tend to spend a lot of time through here. There's a Hollywood International Airport over here in Snow. This is Second Norway over here, and there's Snow International Airport, and I'll do a lot of flights and stuff through here, or doing a lot of boating. But if you want to go somewhere like, let's say, to Hollywood International Airport, right? You can click this dot, click here, and then you can click the teleport button, and it'll take you to there. But we're just going to clear it because we're not going to do that. Or you can just literally walk up and then click and be teleported somewhere. Where the hell? Oh, okay. All right, landmarks. So landmarks, you come up to world, and then you can choose to landmark this place. We kind of touched on a little bit where it'll go into, once you create it, it'll go into your landmarks folder here. And then if you want it as a favorite, you just drag it. So for instance, let's create a landmark. So let's create a landmark here. And then you can name it whatever you want and then click OK. And now notice it's in the landmark. And if we drag this into the favorites, notice, like I said earlier, it creates a copy. And now it's up here. So if there's favorite places that you enjoy going to, and you'll end up with a lot of landmarks, a lot. But there's those few that you really like going to, put them in your favorites, because then you can just click them up here. Just make sure that you name them or remember what they are. There's one of them that I have on mine that I have no idea what it is. I need to go figure out what that is. So that's landmarks and favoriting them. We just went through the world map. And I guess that's the tutorial? Wow, okay. We're just going to walk right through it. Let's see, where do we go? Where did we go just now? Why can't I walk? Ah, that's another one. So if you're right-clicking somewhere... just taking a second to load. Yeah, we're getting 7 frames a second. That's rough. So if you right-click and you see, like, About Land, right? So it's the same thing. You can do right-click About Land. You can also do the same thing by clicking up here. But you see this yellow border? So that's the parcel to this particular area. And that parcel is what's named this here. This Firestorm Social. It could be the whole thing, but it can be named entirely different. We'll find out in a second. But it gives you information. It tells you who owns it, or if it's group owned, and if it's group owned, what the group is. If there's a covenant to it, like rules to it, like this one here, there is a covenant. You can see how many objects are currently on the land, like so this region has 19,000 on the capability, 9,000 is available, so they can put down 9,000. They can put down things that total up to 9,000 more before it's full. This parcel that we're standing in particularly has only 175 it can use, and it's using 97 of it. So you can learn stuff about the region, the area that you're at, by up here in the About Land. Anyone can fly. No one can edit the terrain, which means raise and lower the terrain, changing textures and so on. No one can build. That's what we were doing before, where you right-click and choose Create. You can only be in a... not everyone can. Only group members can, and so forth down here. If there's a picture for it, it goes here. And of course, if there's a landing point, if you were to teleport here, where it would go automatically. Media, if there's like a movie or whatever that they have, or a web page like we saw on the other one when we did the media up here, might have its own. And of course, if there's music here, which it looks like there is, but it's off for copyright, we can turn that on by clicking this and listen to the music that's here. And then access is who's all been banned from this area, and anyone can visit. And of course, experiences and Certain experiences, like if you want to sit down somewhere but you have to click something to accept like a mug, it's usually like Avsitter, then you can add that here, and then the experience, you won't get that menu anymore. You sit down, play that animation, you'll automatically get the mug. You don't have to accept it. And then the environment is just nothing but like the sky and clouds and everything else. And that's it. All right, so let's keep walking. And see, we crossed that parcel line, that yellow line. Now it's changed. Now we're in a new resident help area. And our arrows look like it goes this way. So we're going to go this way. And this is freaking horrible. What is all of this up here? Anything like buying stuff, messages from groups, and so on and so forth, you'll get these little notifications up here. So 3 of them came from us getting those 3 items from the marketplace, and you can hit choose delete all. And then we got the eyes and the outfit or whatever earlier from those freebies, so that's what that is. We're going to delete that too. So this just looks like a congregation. Well, I don't think we need to be here. You can absolutely hang out here if you want, but I don't really want to be here. So, yeah, there's a prime example. It says touch to receive a landmark and no card. So if you touch this, you'll get the landmark added to your landmarks, and then you'll get a no card, and the no card will go into your no card folder of your inventory. I guess if you want to go to this DJ trick dance party thing. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything else that we need to cover, because we literally was creating an account and creating a free. Let's go to a sandbox where it's not so horrible. So I'm gonna come up to world. Actually, I know where a sandbox is. We're just gonna go there. So we're gonna zoom out here. There is a sandbox in the part of the world that doesn't really exist anymore. No, not there. I have the landmark on my other characters, so we're having to find it. But if we can, is it here? No. I know where it is on my other account. And it just might not be loading. But it's somewhere in this vicinity. Is it here? No, I think we already looked there. Let's look. Is there anybody down here? It doesn't look like it. Let's go there. Oh, there is some people there. Some people there. Oh, this is the sandbox. This is what I was looking for. Okay, cool. So there's a sandbox there, and then there's another one around here somewhere. So all this territory right here, all these sims, they actually don't exist. But there is a few of them that are in here that have names. So these ones don't have names on them, so they don't exist. It's still the map data. Like it's still the map information of what was once a sim or a region. But notice how like this one has like a name on it when we zoom in on it, but over here there's nothing on it. So my wife and I were traveling and looking around, and I'm correct me if I'm wrong for those other veterans out there, but there is like four of them or so right in here. Like we're still waiting for things to. There they are. These right here. So when SL first started, like when they first turned on the servers, and um, there was it was just a piece of land with some hills and some trees. That's all it was. That's literally it. And one of them down here, like we can't build down here, but we could absolutely go here. Um, we think that this is a replica of the very original. Now, the very original region was called Daboom, and it's still very active. It's at coordinates 1,000 by 1,000. It was the first original one when they first turned on the servers, but when they migrated, things changed. So I'm thinking, we're both thinking that this right here was the original ones. They were just renamed and replicated and recreated for that. So for the nostalgia, you know what? Let's absolutely go here for the nostalgia. There it goes. Because notice how none of these others have names. And when we get there, you won't see anything around us. Like that's it. It's just open water. But I think we should go here. It's quiet. There's no one here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to world environment and change this to midday instead of shared environment. But the first world literally was just like when they first turned it on, it was nothing but hills and trees. And this is nothing but hills and trees. And there's when it loads in, down here, like it's still loading, there's a dock, unless they changed it, there is a dock that is all made of original prim. And then there's another dock that sits over here, all made of original prim. Yeah, it's not over here. They might have taken the bridges off. Or it's still loading. My guess is probably still loading. But anyway, let's take a look at this other stuff that we grabbed. So we got the hair, so let's add the hair. Some of these fat packs like this have this right here. They're just a HUD. That's why I chose right click add, and we ended up wearing a box and not a HUD. This way, it's a lot cleaner this way. And once you click it, you'll get a little menu that pops up. At some point next year, I guess. We're running really, really slow. But we can also just do this. Oh, you know why it won't work? Because scripts aren't allowed here. But either way, it works. You know what? Let's go to a sandbox. And we can totally just go there, right? Where we'll just go there. That way our scripts. Oh, can't go there. Premium or VIP. That's interesting. Well, that explains why I could go there on my other account. Alright, well, it's fine. So let's do... It's weird that this Catwa and... Okay, there's Leluca. Alright, because we're having a Leluca head, so we need to add the Leluca hair. And then there's different, so we can do blondes, browns, monochromes, reds, vibrants. Um, let's right click for the hair HUD. I'm going to right click and edit this and just kind of move this over a little bit. So it's weird, the HUD doesn't even work. Oh, you know why? Because we're in a you know why? Because we're in a freaking place where the scripts aren't allowed. Okay, that's gonna be that way. Anyone here? Can we go here? Wow, so we can't go anywhere. That's cool. I need my landmarks for there we go. Trial and error. There's 2 sandboxes that I choose to go to. I haven't had the need to look for a sandbox in a really long time, but a sandbox is good for when first starting out because you're allowed to build here. You're allowed to. Now this is G-rated, so you're not allowed to do sexual stuff here or whatever. Make sure that you stay within the TOS for general. But if you just need a place to go to, you want to pull something out like you're building a house or you're wanting to build something, whatever the case may be, put on different clothes, change certain things. Just make sure that, you can do that at a sandbox. I use it for, well, I did use them. My wife and I have a full region now, but I did use it for bringing in mesh objects. So we're going to come over here, and now we're going to use the HUD. This should actually work now. I'm just going to minimize this for the second. Yeah, and then we're gonna click it, and we're gonna stretch it, and we're gonna shrink it down some. No, let's move 5% plus. We're gonna edit it. I mean, it doesn't work with the hair base, but we're just using this so we can see where to position it. So this one is not fitted, so you can actually edit and position where the hair sits and everything else. If it was fitted mesh, then you can't move it at all. It's fitted for that particular, and you'll see that usually on clothes and other things. I highly recommend fitted because it's designed specifically for that body. Because if you have clothes that are like, you have a legacy body and then you went and bought a shirt that's meant for Gianni, the shirt may not necessarily fit. I mean, you can obviously go into your Gianni body and turn off those body parts with the alpha layer so you can still wear it, but fitted mesh hides all the pieces that are necessary for that particular shirt or pants or shoes. It automatically does that for you. But stuff that doesn't fit properly, you'll have to manually turn off if you want to use it. So make sure when you're buying stuff, it's meant for the body that you're wearing, is all I'm saying. All right. Let's take this, let's detach this, and let's go for more brown. Let's look at the browns. This looks more like a, Yeah, that looks more proper. And there's still a little bit of work to um, on this. But I want to say, all right, let's bring this up just a little bit more. Hey, you can see how this is sticking through. So we're wanting to try to position this to where that might be. There we go. Yeah, that looks like that might be good there. So now we have hair. We got the free outfit. We don't need this HUD anymore. There was that thing that we did get, so let's take a look at that. So we got the promo outfit. Now this is G rated, so the way to work this would be to you would put one on. This is where adding two comes in handy. But we can totally take off. For G, we can take off the shirt, but for pants, we'll have to do it that way. So we'll come down in here into the library and get our outfit ready because that's what we're wearing. And we don't need in the objects folder. We're in the welcome pack. So here's the pant, the shirt, the jeans and stuff that we're wearing. So we're going to let's do we're going to add this. So now we have shorts on, but then we're going to come down here and we're going to this is actually going to come in handy to use our t-shirt, and we're going to find. Wait, why is it saying we aren't wearing anything? Oh, are we just in? Why is it saying that we're not wearing anything? That's weird. Because it's saying that we're not wearing any clothes, even though we are. I might have to relog. Okay, now that I've relogged, we can absolutely take stuff off now. Let's look at our here. Now, see, that's weird. It's saying that we're not wearing anything. Welcome to SL Problems. This isn't usually a normal thing. I'm going to just replace our outfit. I should probably, you know where I'm going to take us? We're going to go to my Linden home and not a sandbox. I know that this is probably doesn't really help, and we were supposed to do, you know what? No, we need to go somewhere that we could literally just strip down. here, let's do this. Let's just replace the current outfit. There we go. Now we're wearing everything. Just a little hiccup. And we're gonna have to replace the hair, and because we didn't save it. So we're gonna come back over here to the hair gift, and we don't need the Catwa size, so we're gonna just delete that because we're not using the Catwa hair. So no need to keep that, and we're gonna add the hair back on. It saved it, so we don't have to worry about it. And it's not here, so we click save. So now the hair will be here the next time. So we're done here. The Eon style literally did us no good, so we're just going to delete that. There's no sense in holding on to it. Yeah, like this wasn't even showing up in there either. So we're going to do this here. Oh. What the hell? That's literally the shirt that we're wearing. Why did that get moved from down here? It's still here. Why did that... Well, we don't need that there because it's already there. Cold Ash is actually a really good brand. I use a lot of Cold Ash, so it's actually a good thing. All right, we need to re-add the re-add our AO. So we're going to save that so that way our AO's in here now, permanent is in here. Now let's come down here and put our outfit on. So let's take off the shirt. So notice it's not on here anymore. And there is the alpha layer for the shirt, so we're going to take that off so that way we can fully see us again. And now we're going to add in this. Oh, these are the shorts. Let's go ahead and add in the shorts too. So we're going to add on the shorts, and then we're going to take off the pants, and we're going to turn off this. Yeah, our butt's going to show. We know. And then well, that's okay. Yeah, here's the cargo alpha. We're going to add the alpha. That way that hides our butt. And then we're going to put on our shirt. And we need to add the alpha to that too. Again, if you had the full mesh body from Legacy, none of that, you wouldn't really have to do any of this. But it just kind of hides stuff. Oh, that's mesh size 0. So this doesn't even fit our this doesn't even fit our body. Because the size 0, and that's from old stuff. We might just stick with, you know what? We're not even going to use that. We're just going to stick with this here. And we're going to delete this because this doesn't fit us. But we do have the eyes. These are mesh eyes. So we have the left and right. So we add in the left. And being, you can right click this and choose edit. if you want to use the mesh eyes, rolling them around. A lot of times the system eye that come with it are good, but if you want this, you can also... So here's a prime example that's meant like right-clicking, like holding control and shift that normally would resize it. You can't. This is fitted. So you can't really, you can't adjust it. Well, not fitted because you can move it, but you can't adjust the size. So we would have to turn the system eyes off. But we'd have to do a different, we're right here. So we would wear these instead. With one. So did that. Yeah, so this turned white because we're not wearing this anymore. We're wearing the Mayfly eye. And if you want the mesh eye, so like you can put the mesh eye in there if you want. I've never messed with mesh eyes, so this is kind of out of my area. Or I've tried to mess with them and I've always had issues. So we'll just stick with the Leluka eyes for now. I'm pretty sure we're good. Like, we've got a decent looking avatar. Like, we haven't put any money into him. The system avatar first coming out doesn't look half bad anymore. Like, they used to look horrible, but having this, we can totally go to Leluka really quick so you can see the mesh body, or for the mesh heads, the different heads that are available. We can go to Legacy so you can see the Legacy body. We can do that really quick. And I think that might wrap it up. So we're going to come over here to this right here. We're going to come over to places and we're just going to type in Legacy mesh body. Here, let's do Legacy. I mean, you get it at Velour Mall. I really don't want to go to... Not Found is a really good place for hairs and hair bases and stuff. Dew is also really good. I've got a hair base, or I've got hair from Dew. We'll go to the Leluka. We'll do Leluka first because they actually have a Legacy section. And we're going to come up here to World Avatar Display and do Only Show Friends. So what this means is every person that's here is going to be gray. They won't render. So that'll keep our frame rate up some because it's rough here. So Leluka has a bunch of stuff. From over here, you've got the swallow ears, which is what my main character has. It's the swallow S ears. This is the one that I wear. But you also have the XL ears, and then you have pixie ears, and of course, like dropped ears. So there's a bunch of things here, if that's your thing. This is all the different heads that Leluka has to start off with. And And of course there is more back this way. Right in here. But this is the main place. I know this one right here, this rune head, this one was the free gift from Leluca. So every year Leluca gives away a free male head and free female head during the advent calendar. I highly recommend, especially for not wanting to put money in. Absolutely, when it comes around Christmas time, it's the best time to grab it. A lot of places are giving away free stuff. Join the group, get the group gift, leave the group, and move forward. So this particular head is $39.90, 3,990 linen for the rune head, and Vela was the free female head. But you can come up, you can get the demo. Absolutely try the demo. Make sure it's something that you like first before spending the 4,000 for the head. I've only bought one head. I bought the Skylar head. Every other head I have, I've got through the Christmas Advent calendar. In fact, my new look, I just recently went back to a previous head. So coming over here as the different bodies and stuff. So you get the anatomy head or body. There's this one here. Mama add-on. Here's the legacy. So the one that I use is this one here. It's not the special edition. They don't even look like they have mine anymore. I don't have the athletic one. I've got I guess it's the special one. They're called special edition now. And of course there's Signature and Maitreya, Reborn, Beliza, I think that's how that's pronounced. There's others like Jake and whatnot, but these look like what they have. So you can absolutely come to Leluca and get your body from here. I like Legacy. There's more stuff with Legacy. Legacy's been around a lot longer. But of course it's really just your style of preference. But you can absolutely come here, get the body you prefer. My wife, she uses the Reborn body. I know a bunch of people use the Maitreya body. I've got a buddy of mine who uses the Gianni body, which doesn't look like it's here. There's a Prima body. And of course the Belza. But anyway, we don't have to go to Legacy for that because everything is already here. I guess the only other thing would be you can come up to World and then go to Destinations, and in Destinations is where you can really start exploring. I mean, you can go absolutely to the world map and you can see that there are 29, so that's what this number here means. There's 29 people. It's a moderate here. So remember back to the general, moderate, and adult settings. You can absolutely go through here. Some places may not allow you to go through that, so just keep that in mind. You randomly land in some spot and get kicked out. But you can also go through here. So like newcomer friendly, there's 69 people here giggity in London City. There's Social Island. There's there's a sandbox welcome area. Go figure. Editor picks. If you're looking for, so like editor picks is places that Second Life recommends. What's hot, so like all the hot places right now. London City, if you really want to talk on voice, London City would probably be my recommendation. I don't go there that often just because my system cries when I get there, but sometimes I like to go there and just listen to the conversations. I love to people watch, and I'll just sit there and listen to the conversations. Warehouse 21's another club. Muddy's Music Cafe is another really good one. If you're looking for something specific for music and stuff, you can absolutely go here. The number down here is showing how many people are present at the time that this updated. So it may say 59 now, it may actually be 30 when you get there. It may not be accurate, so just keep that in mind. But at the time this updated, that's what that was. The one that I usually hang out at, so if you wanted to find me in world, I'm right here in Toby's. During the day is not the best, but more in the evening. So if you ever want to catch me, I might be here. More than likely, I'll be here if I'm not at home. Wife's opening up a store, so I've been there helping her. There's a lot of it. Sports, games, and rides if you want to play games. There's absolutely all kinds of that stuff too. I love board games in SL. You play Greedy to Hand and Foot. Dice games well, like I said, Greedy's based on real life Farkle. Hand and Foot, I believe, is based off of Canasta. So there's all kinds of things to do. You can get out and sail on the water. You can get out and fly. If you want to get out and sail, at Toby's juke joint where I hang out at, it's a blues club. But at the marina in that area, it's a 25 region community. At the marina, you can absolutely get a free sailboat. So, again, you can get a boat and not cost anything. Not sure about planes. I'm pretty sure that there are free ones out there. Most the ones that I have cost around 2,000 plus. I've got one helicopter that was like a couple hundred, I think, maybe 650. I don't remember. But there's all kinds of things to do in SL. This just kind of gets us started. We absolutely could go set foot into Toby's. We absolutely could go do something, but this video is already getting a little longer than I anticipated. I do know that I wanted to go through everything, but it's really kind of what you make of it. There's again so many things that you can do, from exploring to meeting people. It just really depends on what you want to do. There's on my HUD in the previous video, there's the GTFO. No, it doesn't stand for Get the F Out, which is what I originally thought it stood for. No, it stands for Get the Freight Out. So you could find a vehicle, a boat, plane, train, whatever, a car, truck, box truck, it doesn't really matter. I do things through a helicopter or boat, and it gets you to pick up stuff at one location and deliver it to another that you can choose where you want to deliver it to. In the menu, the closest one to you is the first one, and then the further along the menu you go is the further away it is. It shows you where you need to take it, and then how long you have to get it there. And it kind of totally gives you a way to see things you normally might not have seen. I've seen a lot of things that by doing GTFO that I haven't normally seen. Have I gone back? No, not really, because it's just not my thing, but it was really cool to see stuff that I normally wouldn't have. So that's the thing. You can also get, it's like 500 linden, but you can get the NO fishing system. There's that one in 7 Seas, and I'm pretty sure there's a few others. I just suggest NO because when you're fishing, the items and stuff that you receive, like let's say you catch a fish, it's just added digitally, virtually. But in 7 Seas, you actually get a physical item into your inventory. And if you're out there fishing for a few hours, your inventory will start to grow exponentially. I had like 15,000 items in my inventory, and then after playing 7 Seas for a couple of days, I went from 15,000 to 20,000. That's from fish, junk, and other stuff that you catch while you're out there. NO doesn't do that. It just says, hey, you caught a fish, it's this big, adds it to a number and then moves on, so you don't actually get anything in your inventory clogging it up. However, 7 Seas, you can get an aquarium and put your fish in there, but it doesn't take it out of your inventory and put it in the fish tank. No, it just puts a copy of it into the fish tank, so you're still stuck with all those items. So, yeah, there's that. I'm rambling at this point. But there's absolutely things. If you want to know about, let me know in the comments what you want to see. If you just want to see walking out in world, we can absolutely do that. I can go somewhere. We can probably pick somewhere on the destinations before we go. Let's do that. Let's go to destinations. I don't really want to go somewhere where there's like tons of people, just because of frame rate issues. But here, let's go to Dublin. Let's go to freaking Ireland. Like, you can go to Ireland in here. Let's say, like, you want to go visit London, but you can't visit London in real life for whatever reason. You can absolutely visit London in Second Life. There is the Eiffel Tower and the whole 9 yards. If you want to visit the big old crater that's in Oregon, that lake, Crater Lake, you absolutely can. It's here. The Grand Canyon is here, or something of it anyway. So there's always a place to go. But we're going to go to Dublin. Let's take a look at it. Yep, we're going to teleport. And we have arrived in Dublin. We'll just close off this screen. Let everything res. This is why it says to take a minute to let things res. Sometimes you come in as like a red smoke if you're using the Firestorm viewer. I think the Second Life viewer is white. But look at this. It even has a way to walk through. You can walk around Second Life by pressing the arrow keys. So this is actually a good place if you want to brush up on how to sit down. So, like, notice this one doesn't have a seat option like it did in the welcome area. In this case, you would right click and choose to sit. That's how that works. That's what it's explaining here. That's really cool. Dublin actually set up a whole welcome area. So if you want to brush up maybe a little bit better on some explanations and how to express oneself, and if you have a microphone, how to speak. And I didn't know this was all here. I think I've been to Dublin once, but it's good to know that this is all here. This is really cool. But this is Second Life. I've been in this world for almost 20 years, and I love every second of it. I have no idea what just happened there, but that's fun. Yeah, just pretend that didn't happen. I probably double tapped W, or yep, double tap W. That's what happened. That was the animation for double tap. But there's all kinds of things here. My wife and I tend to, like, her and I will either be at Sanctuary Music Club. I think that's where she's actually at right now while I'm recording this video. Or we'll be at Toby's. A lot of times we're sitting on our own sim, so she's working on her store. She's working on a big wedding thing. A bunch of wedding items for Gothic style weddings. And then I'm working on mesh stuff, but I'm usually in Blender, so I'm just kind of sitting with her while she's working. Other times we're out on the water. Other times we're literally playing hand and foot or playing a dice card game. But welcome to Dublin. There's a sailboat down there. There's absolutely, and don't let the notion that, like, there's no one that's ever played Second Life, like you saw there in the beginning with all the people that are there. There absolutely is. You just find them, like you saw that in the destinations. There's like 80 people in one spot and 75 in another, 60 in another. You have to remember that each region that we're in, so when you look at the world map, this single square of Dublin here is what's called a region or a sim. There is 1 million of these in Second Life. 1 million. Are all 1 million filled up? No, absolutely not. But I mean, that's just how big Second Life is. When you zoom out, I have no idea where. So the little H here represents home. So I guess that's where we started at. Was Firestorm Orientation Island. Yep, so that's what has our home set. So when you look at this, all these little sims, all of this is all places that you can visit. Not all of them are, some of them are residential, others are businesses. It really just kind of have to take a look. But all of this is all owned by people, homes and businesses, and each one of these little dots represents something humongous. And when you look down at mainland, minus the fact if you have a dirty mind what that looks like, all of these are interconnected. Now, if you're looking down here and you see there's no water symbol here, there's no looks like water. I'll show you what I mean on mainland. It means you can't leave this region, like you're stuck in this. There's nothing here. It looks just like water, but there's nothing here. You can't go there. But if you're on the mainland, and we'll come down here in like the Blake Sea, so you see how it looks like water here, but down here there's nothing. So you can't actually physically go here, but you can go here. But so there are a million of these sims. And like I said, not all of them are filled up. Like all of these right here, it's all blank. So you can't get from here to here. There's no connection here. So if you're ever out and about and you're wanting to go, say, from here to here, you can't go from here to here because you see water here, but there's actually nothing here. You'll actually have to go from here to here to here to here to here. And when you're sim crossing, which is going from one sim to another, try to hit it straight on and go slow. If you go really fast and hit it at an angle, your object may just crash. It's horrible. And try to stay away from, and you'll experience it and you'll understand what I'm talking about. And try to stay away from going through corners where there's in these like 4 sims here. Try to stay away from going through these 4 corners. Your object, your boat or your helicopter plane, whatever it is that you're in, may suddenly stop working, and you're froze in between the sim crossing. You cross over, but now all of your scripts aren't working properly and you're just going all over the screen. Sometimes you get ejected and you wake up 3 sims over somewhere and you end up pulling off, where did I go just now? So keep that in mind when traveling from one sim to another. Try to hit it slow and straight on. It's not so much when you yourself is walking, but if you're in something that's with scripts like a car, plane, or whatever. Just keep that in mind. That's pretty much it. We can go. I tend to go to this. I'm usually at this airport a lot. So this is Hollywood International Airport. I do a lot of GTFO out of here. It'll take a minute to load, but yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do here. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions for new players, anything, please put them in the comments. I would absolutely appreciate that. And if you enjoyed what you heard, please hit the subscribe button. I would absolutely love having you guys join our little family here. I know it's not much. There's only 66 of us here, but I really want to grow. I want to focus strictly in SL. I've got almost 20 years experience here, so absolutely love to want to help people and whatever that may be. So I guess from Hollywood International Airport, this is Spir, and until next time, guys, I appreciate you listening and hanging on this long. I'm going to go get this edited and uploaded for you, and don't forget to subscribe there and comment suggestions and recommendations and your questions and anything else. I want to hear them. and I want to see people helping others and giving their insights, especially the veterans who've been around, almost as long as I have. Um, yeah, until then, guys, take care, and I will see you next time. Bye now.